So, US horse racing markets. Now, I've not touched the horse racing markets of the States for some time now. There's lots of them on most evenings of the week, so there's a lot of races to trade. But the reason I leave them out is just because sort of time's better spent elsewhere, really. Principles within the markets are pretty much similar. They're less liquid, which sort of changes things quite a bit, but sort of the underpinning principles are similar. So much like the greyhound racing, you can see there's barely any money in the market right now. There's gaps everywhere, and that will sort of change as time picks up and gets closer to the post time, because we're quite a way out as yet here. The biggest problem with the US horse racing is the fact that people get caught in play, and then it runs as a bet, which is what you don't want to do. So if you can sort of get discipline on that, which I'm going to show you a link now, and just bring that across there, and the link will be sort of in the description for this clip. And what that shows you there is it's a US horse racing website. It shows you the track that the horse racing is going off at, the race number, because the races are numbered in the States, and then MTP there stands for minutes to post. So if I refresh that, because that's been sat there stagnant for a few seconds, you can see that the figures have changed in minutes to post. So I'm just highlighting Saratoga there, 6 minutes to post, which is the race that we've got the ladder open for. Now it looks like it's going to go off around about the same time as it should do. But the horse racing in America, like I say, is renowned for going off before what should be the original post time. So it could say 6 minutes to post, but there's only 3 minutes to post. So you need to keep an eye on that. You need to have that tab open. Second to that, you've got your Betfair live video, which is quite helpful. You can see horses going to the start there, but again, that's often delayed as well, and it can be 30 seconds or so out. So what you don't want is to have an open position, and find that the race gets suspended, goes in play, and you haven't managed to close out your trade and it runs as a bet, because that's obviously everyone's worst nightmare. So I'm just going to have that off on the side there, and have a little look at the ladders now. Like I say, principles are similar. There's barely any money in the markets. It's much like the greyhound markets. There is possibility to make money, and often in the States races there'll be like one or two decent cards, as it were, at decent tracks of an evening, where there'll be a lot more turned over than you get in your greyhounds racing. So at the moment it looks pretty bleak, to be honest, with this at Saratoga, but we're not anywhere near the start yet. As with any start on any event on Betfair, liquidity always picks up more towards the end, so you'll see it will get a lot more active. So just highlighting the 5 minutes there. We've got a little way to the start. Now it looks like this one on the left is going to be the favourite. Things can change quite quickly when the markets are this less liquid, so I'm just going to bang some orders outside the prices, well outside the prices, pretty much, just in case we get a lucky spike, because small stakes, £5, don't want to be doing it with too big a stakes. If you do it with stakes too large, then you can find yourself caught in a position where it's hard to get it back out in the opposite direction, which is something I'm sure just about everyone's experienced at one point or another. You can see there's £100 on the favourite there. It's quite a big stake for so early on. I'm just going to watch it for now, and hopefully we'll get a lucky spike. It'll give us a few quid to start anyway. Like I say, at the moment it's very unliquid, but these races you can often make £2-3 from most of the races, and then when you get a nicely liquid one, sort of turns over tens of thousands, you can make sort of 5-10 out of it where possible, but you have to be very patient. So just sitting outside the prices there, look, we made 14 pence just for a £5 stake. This little spike went in, got out on the other side. So just refreshing on the other screen here, just to see when it's going off, because it can change. You can get a little add-on for your browser as well, which gives a sort of refresh so you can set it to refresh every 5 seconds, so you don't have to do it manually. So look that up as well. But as is with the situation, it's not got going just yet. This favourite looks a little bit weak so far, considering it's that sort of price. Don't want to take too much of an opinion, but I'll have £5 open, since we've already got a bit of green as well. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, take the last of that money going there. It looks like it's going up a little initially, but it's probably a little bit early to get involved with too big a stake, so I'm just going to sit on it, be patient, be disciplined, as always advised. And we already had that order in the market there, so that spike's just been took. Now we're in a nice little position. It's just starting to move a little, actually. Quite lucky to catch that so early, actually. But you can see the principles are the same, sort of like, you know, the way the market moves. Now, if I can get out up there, 375, 11.4, be a nice little £7 move off of some tiny stakes there. But it's looking unlikely, to be honest. I think try and get it around there. Come on, match me. You see barely anything's been turned over just yet, so sometimes there's an opportunity, sometimes there isn't when it pops up like that. But we'll hedge up there. Sometimes there's an opportunity in these markets like this, and it will really get going. In times you can make, you know, you can turn over a lot of stakes, and other times you just sit there and you have to be patient. But I'll carry on leaving them outside the prices, very small stakes while I'm here. Scalp out a few extra pence. To be honest, this is pretty poor turnovers, like less than £5 at the moment. Couple of minutes, I suppose. It's going to go off on time by the looks of it, this one. And you'll probably see in the market quite quickly things will pick up and there'll be more money turned over, and that's a good indication it's getting close to post. Yeah, now we're turning over a little bit. See, the market's not really moving one direction or another. For the US races, I like to see it moving in one direction or another, to be honest, before I'm going to get involved in sort of any kind of stake. If I'm going to go in for £100 or something on this sort of liquidity, you've got to remember you've got to get that £100 out, so I'll just scalp that out in a second there as well. It's an extra 30p, favourable spike, see if it gets filled. That's probably not going enough. Take 10p. Sorry, sidetrack there, but yeah, I've just forgotten what I was saying. The liquidity picks up at the end. But if there's not, that's it. If there's not a price moving particularly in one direction or another, then I won't go in for too large a stakes. You've got to remember, you've got to get that stake out on the other side. And arguably, I've got some stakes scattered about here. That £500 I'm going to have to get out for a bit of a loss there. It's all part of the game. Getting closer to the start now. Cool. A little bit of a late move. You see a little bit of money, and of course you've got the in play SP there. So you just see, if I right click on the bet and the Geeks Toy software, you can go take SP, in play SP, that's what that stands for, IPSP. So what that means is if the race goes off and we're caught with our trade open, provided we've got that other side in the market and we've selected in play SP, it will close us out of the SP. The SP might not, SP being starting price of course, that might not be very favourable in unliquid markets. And I'm just refreshing on the other tab there you see on the left, and the race is about to go off according to that tab, so I'm just going to leave that. Lo and behold, looks like the video is as well. Surprised the market hasn't gone in play yet. It usually goes in play several seconds before at least. See, yeah, there's about a 5-second delay there or something like that, but a lot of the time the gap's a lot bigger, so just be very mindful of that. Use that tab is probably the most important thing I can stress about this, because once it goes in play like that, you're caught with it as a bet if you've not got your trade closed. But I mean, come on, it's just under a fiver. It wasn't the best result, but you can do that in the evening with the US racing, and there's stacks and stacks of races if that's what you want to do. But yeah, it'll teach you to be patient if nothing else.